I want to talk about Greek life and hazing. I'm speaking from the perspective of someone who has worked for 3 universities, and 2 of the universities that I worked for, I worked as a counselor for college students. All Greek organizations at the national level and all the levels, they have policies that are against hazing. It does not stop hazing from taking place. Hazing is a very deep-rooted culture and seen as a rite of passage in joining organizations in multiple Greek life councils. There are 2 documentaries, one documentary in the show, a series that I do recommend anyone who wants to understand just the depth of hazing on college campuses. One is called Hazing, and I'll leave the image here. You can watch it on PBS. Also, the other one is on A&E. It's a series, and you can watch that as well. And that'll give you some additional insight on how deeply rooted hazing is in Greek life organization. A couple of things that you want to look at is if you're trying to determine whether or not hazing is taking place or has taken place at a particular chapter that you're interested in, is you want to see if that chapter is just now coming back online on campus, or what people are, they're back on the yard. Because if an organization is saying that they've been gone for 5 years, they've been gone for 10 years, you need to do some investigation to determine whether or not that chapter was suspended for hazing. And you can do that by calling you can call the university and just ask them, hey, was this chapter suspended for hazing? Another indication that there may be some hazing that's taking place is if you hear certain language, right? 2 of the aspects of the language that you may hear someone say that they were made in an organization, or they may say, oh, that sounds like that person went through paper. When someone is usually saying that they've gone through paper, someone may be paper, that means that they have not gone through whatever rituals that they may feel that person should have gone through, and they're sort of like pushed through the organization, right? So you'll see that sometimes in social media comments, someone may say, oh, were they made? Or they would say, oh, I was made. Or they'll make a comment like, oh, someone, it seems like a lot of people are paper. Now, that isn't always 100% the case, because sometimes folks will identify someone as paper if they feel that that person didn't know the knowledge that they have when it comes to Greek life. Hazing is not just a physical act. Hazing also involves intimidation, any intimidation rituals, emotional abuse, mental abuse, and humiliation. So if people are having individuals do things through their process that is considered humiliating as a process to become a member of that organization, then that is considered hazing. You do not need to be a person going through the process in order to report it. You do not need to be that. You do not need to be someone online or someone that's going through that initiation in order to report hazing. You can report hazing to the Dean of Students office on campus. I would go directly to the national office of that Greek life organization, send them an email and call and let them know that hazing is taking place on that campus with that chapter. And also police. Call the police on these people. Call the police. Call the police. Do a police report. Call the police on these people. One of the things that we need to understand is that rituals can be very, very dangerous. In the A&E documentary, and I believe this is a specific documentary, a ritual can include something like drinking rituals. And in one of those documentaries, someone lost their life because of that particular ritual, and they had to go through trial because charges were filed. So one of the things that we have to understand is even rituals that we think are not a big deal, excessive exercise is another ritual that people don't think is a big deal. And those are rituals that can cost someone their life. It is a deeply rooted issue. It becomes this cycle of, I went through it, So it's okay that you go through it. And then it's a very toxic cycle to stop, because in all reality, there are people who are very proud that they went through the particular process that they went through, even though it included hazing.